Alright, so the water's finally hooked up. So what I ended up having to do is move the pipe down, because before it was right where that 90's at. That's where the pipe was coming in, but it was coming in from the front. So this was right underneath the spigot. So I wanted to move it down some. So I ended up cutting. That's why I needed to shut the water off, because I cut this pipe right here. Boom. And I cut out, I don't know, more than that, in order to bring this pipe down. This pipe actually was up here, which was almost like at the same level as the spigot. So I ended up putting an expansion chamber on there, a 1-inch expansion chamber. Yeah, right. That's because that's all the fittings we had. Because somebody, and I'm not gonna say no names. Anyways, all I'm saying is that that's all the fittings we had, so I made it work with what we had. So luckily we had some reducers and some 90's that went from 1 to 3/4, and we had some couplers, and I used pieces that had already been glued together but we just didn't use, like that 90 right there had been glued together already, as well as some other parts. But yeah, so yeah, you got a little section of 1-inch in there, a little expansion chamber to relieve the pressure, regulate the pressure. With that expansion chamber, it'll bring it down to 37.5 psi. I'm just kidding, fucking with you, but it's done. So, and we didn't have to buy no parts. That's what I was looking for, because I was like, fuck, how am I gonna do this? But then I just made it work. I said, a la verga, and got it done. So now I'm just gonna let that set up, and then I'll be turning the water on. Hopefully all will be good. I gotta put some thread tape on that shit, and then yeah, and then the water will be hooked up.